Hello everyone, welcome to all. Uh, in this session, we are going to discuss about the strain energy. Up to now, we have discussed about what is meant by strain, what is meant by stress, what is meant by Young's modulus is nothing but is common related to uh, com- common elastic constants. Okay, so what is meant by stress? Stress is nothing but the load by area. What is meant by strain? Strain is nothing but the uh, change in length by original length. What is the Young's modulus? It is the ratio of stress by strain. At the same time, what is meant by shear modulus or modulus of rigidity is equals to shear stress by shear strain. Okay, and bulk modulus. What is meant by bulk modulus? Bulk modulus equals to direct stress by volumetric strain. And next, Poisson's ratio. What is meant by Poisson's ratio? Lateral stress by linear strain. Okay, and next factor of safety. What is meant by factor of safety? Factor of safety is nothing but ultimate stress by uh, running stress. Okay, ultimate load by running load, like that one. Okay, so up to now we have discussed about this three or four concepts. And the first one is the bars of having constant cross sections, and the next one, and later we have discussed about the bars of varying cross sections. Varying cross sections nothing but is tends to changing its area, or it tends to change in its cross section. It's nothing but the diameter. Okay, it tends to change in the diameter. And the next one is the thermal stresses. What, how does the material behaves when we gives rise to temperature, certain temperature? How does the material behaves? Okay, whenever the body exposed to certain temperature, how does it behaves? Okay, we can call it as this thermal stresses. And then later we have discussed about the mm, tightening of the nut. Okay, what is the stresses are induced? Suppose we have placed here one element within the in between the bolt and nut. So by applying the force, or by a tightening of the nut. Okay, by the tightening of the knot, what are the stresses are induced within the material? So if it is induced, how much it is? And then later we have discussed about some relation between the elastic constants. What is the relation between the E and C, or E and K? Okay, E and C is nothing but the Young's modulus to the modulus of rigidity, or Young's modulus to the bulk modulus, or what is the main basic relation between these three? Okay, between these three, uh, how how they are proportional to each other. Okay, next concept is the strain energy. Strain energy is nothing but the already we have know about what is meant by strain. Strain is nothing but the change in length by original length. Suppose in case of energy is nothing but the rate of change of doing work. Okay, as we know. Suppose what I meant to say is, suppose whenever we applying the force, suppose we have a, let us consider a body. Okay, let us consider a body here. Okay, and with the help of a hammer. Okay, I'm continuously trying to blow on the material. Okay, with the help of hammer. Okay, uh, after up to two strokes, I just give you one stroke, so the material will getting some kind of deformation. Okay, either maybe may not be. Initially, suppose let us assume the material did not respond. Okay, respond is nothing but it does not elongate it. Okay, deformation. Okay, after two strikes, two blows is nothing but the two types of applying forces. Okay, after two blows or two strikes, the material will getting some deformation. Okay, after continuous 5 strokes or 10 strokes, obviously there will be the material getting fracture. Okay, got it? The material getting fracture. uh, so initially for one stroke the material did not respond, and the second stroke the material did not respond. After third stroke the material getting some deformation. Okay, and fourth, fifth, sixth, the corresponding consequently, up to 10th strokes, the material getting failure. So up to 10 strokes, the material, what it has done? What it has done? Anybody? What it has done is nothing but it absorbs the energy. Okay, energy of the blowing hammer. It absorbs the energy of the blowing hammer. Okay, up to 10 strokes. While applying the one stroke, the material absorbs the energy. Okay, some amount of energy, whether it may be kinetic energy, whether it may be obviously there will be a kinetic energy. Okay, there is no issue. Why? Because there is a movement. Okay, uh, movement of the hammer. Okay, that's where it is of mv square. And the next one is the mm, for one stroke there will be a absorbing some amount of energy. For the second stroke there will be some more amount of energy. Okay, so up to 10 strokes, the material absorbs some amount of energy, and which has a capable of absorbing some amount of 10 strokes. After applying the 11th stroke, it does not capable. Okay, it is not able to capable of store the energy, that much of amount of energy. Okay, and then later after application of 11th load, 11th strike, 11th stroke, so the material will getting failure. Okay, so up to 10th strokes, up to unless of 10 strikes, 10 repeated loads, the material absorbing some amount of energy. That amount of energy we can call it as a strain energy. Got my point? Yes. Up to 10 strokes, the material absorbs some amount of energy. Okay, uh, so that amount of energy you can call it as a strain energy. Okay, whenever the force applied on elastic body, it causes a linear deformation. Okay, obviously, and as a result of this deformation is the point of application of force undergoes a displacement. Okay, thus the work is done by the force, the work is stored in the elastic body as a strain energy. Okay. When the external force is removed, the strain energy will take space to material to the original position according to the principle of conservation of energy, and work done by the external force equals to strain energy. It's nothing but the, suppose here one more assumption what we take in is, though and the material is made up of a elastic material. Elastic material is nothing but the, whenever we apply the force, whenever we applied a load on the particular body, the body tends to, our body willing to change its deformation. Okay, by the removal of load, what will happen? Whether the body remains regains its original shape or not. If it is regains its original shape, we can call it as a elasticity. If it's not able to regain its original shape, regain, okay, its original shape, we can call it as a plasticity. So here the what we have taken assumption is, uh, for everywhere the we just consider with the whatever the body we have considered is made up of a elastic. Okay, after the application of load, during the application of load it responds. After the, if removing the load, after if I removing the load, or if I stop the application of load, applying the load, the material again regains its original shape. Okay, here also, what are the amount of force is external force is equal to strain energy. What is the, so some amount of during the application, some amount of work done has been done. Okay, got my point. Some amount of work done, whether it may be negative work, whether it may be positive work, whatever the amount, while the application of load, the force into displacement is nothing but the work done. Okay, so some amount of work has been done. So this amount of work is equals to the, or you can call it as a strain energy. Okay, either maybe up to now in initially, by literally by what you call by definition, some amount of the material getting some amount of energy, some amount of absorbing some amount of energy up to the failure. So that much of failure, that much of amount of energy, you can call it as a strain energy. Obviously, here also definition strain energy. So here the three definitions here. First one is the resilience. Okay, second one is the proof resilience, and third one is the modulus of resilience. So what is meant by resilience? Okay, what is meant by resilience? Resilience is nothing but the strain energy stored within the elastic limit is called a resilience. So what is meant by elastic limit? So I hope you I hope you remember everything about what we were discussing in the previous session. uh, so I just to take a graph between the stress and versus strain diagram for the steel, for suppose mild steel or better maybe. So the y-axis represents stress, and then x-axis represents y. So whenever we applied the load on a simple uniformly distributed load, or simply we can UTM, universal testing machine, or okay, UTM, universal testing machine. We have discussed about the in the last class also. We have observed the tensile test. We have performed the tensile test, or while we perform the compression test. So experimentally, we need to conduct some experiments. Okay, practically we need to conduct some experiments. So where at which machine we can utilize, at which machine we can applicable for the tensile machine or universal tensile experiment or compressible experiment. Okay, so in UTM we have a, while applying the UTM, the graph will be like this one. Okay, the graph will be like this one. So here is the zero. Okay, the y-axis we can call it as a, we can consider it as a stress, and the x-axis we can consider it as a strain. Strain is nothing but the change in length original, which is represented by small e. Okay, suppose here we just consider here, this is the proportional limit, and about that one elastic limit. Okay, beyond the some little variation, by little distance, we have a elastic limit. Okay, at elastic limit, as per Hooke's law, what we have now, what we have discussed earlier. So we have discussed that as per Hooke's law, as per Hooke's law, the stress is directly proportional to the strain. Okay, up to some elastic, up to the elastic point, the stress is directly proportional to strain. We may observe in the graph also. Here also the graph will be the linear up to the point. The graph will be linear. So what is meant by linear? Nothing but it has some constant proportionality. It has maintained some proportional. So if in case of 10 kilonewtons, 10 Pascal, the strain will be the 5. If in case of 15, the strain will be the 10. I say it has a minimum deviation of minimum difference of 5 centimeters. Okay, 5 centimeters or 5. Okay, minimum difference of 5. So it what is meant by it? It has a constant proportionality. It maintains some proportionality which is constant. Okay, up to now. After the elastic point, it may be, it not be proportional. Okay, definitely it might not be a proportional. Okay, up to the elastic limit only we have maintained some relation between the stress and strain. Beyond that one, we does not maintain any relation between the stress and strain. You can proportionality. Okay, it does not maintain any proportionality. So proportionality is nothing but the as per corresponding results. Okay, suppose 1 kilonewtons applied, the strain will be the 1. If I apply the 2 kilonewtons, obviously the strain will be the also 2. If you apply 3, the strain will be the 3. So which type of values will be the proportionality? Okay, so here also resilience up to within the elastic limit, you can call it a resilience. What are the strain energy stored, what are the strain energy observed within the elastic limit, you can call it as a resilience, as well as the proof resilience. The maximum energy stored within the elastic limit. Okay, the maximum energy stored within the elastic, that is without undergoing any plastic deformation, is called proof resilience. It is the strain energy corresponding, it is the strain energy corresponding to stress at the elastic limit. Okay, modulus of resilience. The proof resilience per unit volume body is called modulus of resilience, is nothing but the, for initially what is meant by resilience? Resilience is nothing but the up to the elastic limit, what are the amount of energy stored absorbed by the what are the amount of strain energy is absorbed by the material, we can call it as a resilience. If in case of proof resilience is nothing but the maximum energy. The maximum energy stored within the elastic limit, that is without undergoing any plastic deformation. It's called proof resilience. Proof resilience, the maximum, how much, suppose initially we just maintain some average resilience. If in case of proof resilience, we just consider the maximum amount of energy, okay. uh, Nothing but it is the strain energy corresponding to stress at the elastic limit. So what is meant by what is the difference between the resilience, proof resilience? If in case of resilience, we just may up to no up to proportional limit, what are the amount of energy we observed is going to call it as a resilience. We need to calculate at the saturation point, at the peak point, we need to calculate the values. Okay, how much the stress is. So at the particular point, we can call it as at the particular point what we obtain the stress, we can call it as a proof resilience. Okay, at the maximum energy, it is the maximum energy where it happens only at the elastic limit. Okay, the resilience is below the elastic limit up to the elastic limit. If in case of proof resilience, it is uh, the maximum amount of energy at the elastic limit. Okay, if in case of modulus of resilience, the proof resilience per unit volume of the body is called modulus of resilience. Per unit volume of the body, okay, per unit what is the proof resilience per unit of the volume of the body, you can call it as the modulus of resilience. Okay, so if in case of expression for strain energy, expressions for strain energy, here also consider a body cross section area L, A, and the length L subjected to the tensile load of P. Let delta P the extension of the bar. The work done by the load is corresponding by the shaded area of the load extension diagram. So here the strain energy equals to work done. Obviously, what is the amount of strain energy is directly proportional to the directly equals to the what is the amount of work done has done. Okay, are you obey or not? So what are the strain energy is equals to the what are the amount of work done has done on the particular body. Okay, is equals to 1 by 2 P into delta L. P is how does it will come? How does it will come is if I consider a graph here. Okay, a graph is nothing but the stress versus strain diagram for the elastic body. So here also we have to know we have some elastic limit, we have some proportional limit is nothing but the up to elastic limit, the graph will be the linear. After the elastic limit, the graph will be non-linear. So here also the change in length equals to delta L, the load equals to L. Okay, the what is the graph, let us consider here up to the load P, the corresponding load, the let us assume load is acting at a particular point, the load will be the some value, has a some value, and after application of load, it has a some deformation of delta L. So if in case of we need to calculate the particular in the case studies, in this case studies, we need to calculate the strain energy. So what is meant by strain energy? Work done. Work done is the we don't know. So up to know what is the amount of energy we observed, you can call it as a strain energy. So here also we need to calculate the up to area. So how does it? How do we calculate the area? Triangular form of B into H. Of B equals to P. Okay. H equals to delta L. Of BH is nothing but the half HB, whatever it may be. Okay, half BH. Okay, half, and next sigma A delta L by E. Sigma equals to what is the P equals to what is meant by P? Actually, which is derived from stress equals to load by area. What is meant by load? The stress into area. Obviously, the stress into area delta L by E. Delta L equals to here also the value will be the 1 by 2 stress A delta L, we can call it as a delta L by E is nothing but the what is the original length equals to sigma square by 2E into AL. Okay, sigma into sigma square. AL will just brings out and let it be common. The value will be sigma square by 2E into AL is nothing but the volume, Newton mm. Okay. Here also stress induced in the body equals to Newton per mm square. Now V equals to volume of the body mm cube. He is the modulus of elasticity Newton per mm square. Sigma C is the stress induced at the elastic limit. And proof resilience equals to sigma square by 2E into V Newton per mm. Okay. Here is the formula for the strain energy. And this is the proof resilience equals to sigma C. It is the sigma up to the elastic limit. Okay. We can take in 18A point. So here's the proof resilience equals to at a particular, it has only one condition, which is elastic limit. Okay. Sigma C, sigma E square by T, what is the maximum stress per unit area? Okay. 2E into V. Newton per mm. The modulus of resilience equals to per unit volume. What is the proof resilience per unit volume? You can call it as modulus of resilience. So VV getting cancelled. Okay. That's the reason the answer will be the sigma is square by 2E. So Newton per mm cube. Per unit volume. That's the reason the units will be the mm cube. Here also mm's. Here also mm's. Mm. Okay. Here we just apply. Just to observe the diagram which is left side. And initially we have a dotted line of the initial. The body has a cross section of dotted line, and the while application of load, while application of tensile load, it has some elongation of delta L. Obviously, with along with linear elongation, obviously there will be lateral elongation also, lateral compression also. Here it was. The diagram will be look like this one. Okay. Initially the dotted line, this is the original position of the diagram, dotted line which is represented by dotted line. After application of load, which the length will getting variable and then diameter will be getting variable also. Alternate expression U equals to 1 by 2 P into delta L. So delta L equals to PL by AE. Obviously U equals to 2 P square by L 2 AE. So what are the is alternate expression? This is the actually this is the original expression. This is the alternate expression. P is delta L, PL by delta L equals to PL by AE. Okay, PL by AE. So if you substitute this here, P square L by 2 AE. So here also uh, P square by AE, we can call it sigma square by E2E, like this one. Okay, if you are worried to remember this expression, this derivation, just remember this one. Difficulty, if it is considered it is a difficulty, just remember this one simple formula. So here also strain energy for the different modes of loading. What will happen if in case of gradual applied load? What will happen if the sudden applied load? What will happen if it is the impact load? Okay, falling or impact load. How does it changes? Here also, if in case of gradual applied load, work done will be the this is the relation between the in this case the load increases gradually from 0 to final volume. Here what applied load is nothing but the initially we just applied a 0 load. Okay, one initially initially like this one, we have a graph like this one. Initially we applied the 1 kg load, and the value will be like this one. After application of after and then later we applied 1 more kg. Okay, after application 1 more kg, and then later 1 more kg, like this one. The if I draw a graph like this, draw a graph, the value will be the straight. The graph will be the straight. After the application of one load, 1 kg load, it has a one deviation. After and then later, while we succeeding increasing of the load, the deflection also getting variable. In this case also, load increases gradually from 0 to final value. Okay, from here we are starting from 0. Okay, and therefore the average load is considered to calculate the strain energy. The consider an elastic body of uniform cross section of length. L is subjected to gradually applied static load. Okay, delta L equals to elongation of the bar. The work done equals to average load into extension. Average load equals to 0. Initially we have just applied 0 load, and the next P up to the value of P by 2 average into delta L. Extension equals to delta L. So P delta L by 2. Now from our principle of conservation of energy, conservation of energy is nothing but what are the amount of work done applied has been applied on the material is equals to the what are the strain energy induced within the within the body. So P into delta L by 2 is equals to sigma square by 2E AL. Sigma square by 2E AL is nothing but the what are the derivation we have discussed earlier. Okay, this is like this one. Sigma square by 2E into AL. Sigma square by 2E into AL. This is the strain energy. Okay. P into sigma AL by after come some simplification in this lesson. So my main motto is what this is the process rather than the derivation. Okay. If I know the process, definitely you will derive anything. Okay. So here also the final answer will be the U equals to sigma square by 2E AL Newton meter. You can call it as a strain energy. U is nothing but the strain energy. So here is it is the general expression for the stress. All the problems, unless otherwise specified, load is always considered to be static. That is gradually applicable. If it is the until unless the data has given, until unless the rise of voice has given in the problem, we just consider the entire problem is within a gradually applied load. Okay. Once the stress is calculated, the corresponding strain energy may be obtained by using the relation. Okay. By using the relation, here we have a relation sigma square by 2E into L, AEL. Sigma equals stress induced Newton per mm square. The I equals modulus of elasticity. A equals to cross section area, length of the bar. Here also suppose let us consider a problem here. An axial pull of 100 kilonewtons is gradually applied on a circular steel rod 3 meters long and 40 diameter. Find the strain energy that can be stored within the rod. And E equals to rod material. E for the 2.0 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. So here we have a axial pull of load. Okay, 100 kilonewtons is gradually applied load, which is mentioned in the problem itself. And the circular steel rod 3 meters, the length has given and diameter has given. The strain energy we need to calculate. Okay, here the what are the basic steps are there? The load is just converted into kilonewtons into newtons. Okay, the length of the steel rod L equals to that much up. The diameter of rod D equals to 40 mm. The cross section area pi by 4 d square. Why? Because this is the cross section. The rod is circular. Okay, why? Because it is given in the diagram, given in the problem. Circular, circular steel. Okay. Uh, the strain energy equals to sigma square AL by 2E. So by substituting all the formulas here, we're just getting the 59686.9 Newton mm. The strain energy. The units of the strain energy will be the Newton per Newton mm. The units of the stress equals to Newton per mm square or Newton per meter square. Okay, here the Newton mm. Alternatively, by deriving we can get the answer, same answer by using this formula or by using this formula. Just simply here and nothing but no. Okay, sigma square by AL 2E, sigma p square by 2AL 2E. So in the coming to next problem, calculate the elastic strain. Calculate the elastic strain energy per unit volume due to extension of the steel bar having a elastic limit of 200 Newton per mm square. Find the and Young's modulus equals to 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. The stress at elastic limit equals to we have 200. Okay, we have known the stress, and then the Young's modulus we have known. The strain energy per unit volume equals to sigma square by 2e. Modulus of resilience. Okay, per unit volume. That's why reason the modulus of resilience is sigma square by 2e. We have a formula. We just apply the formula and substitute the values. Okay, and the next, a steel rod of length 1 meter diameter. Here also is a steel rod of length 1 meter is of diameter, 75 mm over a portion of. Here one thing is there. The 1 meter is the length. The 75 mm is the diameter, or the portion of 0.7 meters long. The 70% of the rod having a diameter of 45 mm, or the remainder. Okay. Okay, here also one thing, or the 70% of the length of the be a bar having 75 mm bar, 75 mm diameter, and the remaining of 30%, obviously 30% of the bar having a diameter of 45 mm. I calculate the strain energy in the rod. The subjected axial load of 50 kilonewtons. Okay, we have a load and Young's modulus equals to 210. The here also, what is the given data? Length equals to 1 meter, P equals to something, P 15 to 10 power 3 newtons, and modulus of elasticity E equals to 2.1 into 10 to the power of 5 newton per mm square. Diameter of larger portion, D1 equals 75 mm. So obviously we have no area. We need to calculate the area. And the next, diameter of smaller portion. Okay, 45. Obviously then will be the which area. The strain energy equals to P square by 2E. This is the one more formula for the P square by 2E, L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2. We have some basic formulas for everywhere. We know here the in this concept for everywhere we have know some. We need to know some basic formulas. So before going to attempting the examination, just revise the part of the formulas here. So in the coming to in the next class onwards, we are going to discuss. We are going to planning to conduct the classes on a live mode. Okay, not in the recorded mode. So in the sense of conducting a Google Meet interactions here. So over there, I will interact with you and clear our doubts. Okay?